Good morning. We're going to take a look at lesson 7.3, and what I'd like you to do is to get out notes, and we're going to go through a couple examples and go through your talk-it-overs, and then I'll let you get into your groups to work on your assignment. Now 7.3 talks about two major formulas. The first one is circumference. So again, I'll write this out for you as you go, or type it out, and you can follow along. So circumference equals there's two formulas for it. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with them. Pi times diameter, or 2 pi r. Now, very important to understand that a circle has a couple of pieces of information that you want to be aware of. You have the center. You have a line that goes all the way across and goes through the center, and that is the diameter. If you talk about only from the center to the outside of the circle, then it's just the radius. And the perimeter of a circle, which would be the distance around, that is known as circumference for a circle. So we're talking about the perimeter of a circle, and those are the two formulas that you would have. So for example, if I say to you, the diameter of a circle is 60, what is the circumference? Well, circumference is equal to pi times diameter. We know the diameter, it's 60, so circumference is pi times 60. On your calculators, you can use 3.14 times 60, or you can use the pi symbol on your calculator, which makes it a little bit longer of a decimal, but either way, you should get about 188. I did not give you a unit. Let's say this is 60 millimeters, and your circumference is 188 millimeters. All right, another big formula that we have to learn for this lesson is arc length. All right, arc length is, or can be found by taking the measure of central angle of arc. And we're going to have circumference. We're going to divide, I'll do this, circumference and I'll go 360. Alright, so let's use this properly here. So we have a proportion. Arc length divided by circumference is equal to measure the central angle of an arc divided by 360. Okay, again, what do those words mean? Well, in a circle, again, we have radius and diameter, but we also have arc lengths. So if I take a radius, and then another radius, this angle right here is called the central angle because it comes from the center, and that's this part, the measure of the central angle. This intersection point to this intersection point on the circle, this piece of the circle is the arc. Okay, so it's a piece of the circle, not the area inside, just the length from here to here. So it's a piece of the overall circumference. So if I give you an example that said a central angle is equal to 57 degrees, and you have a radius equal to 9, what's the arc length? Well, we would use our proportion. The arc length we do not know. The circumference we can find out is equal to pi times diameter. Now if we have a radius equal to 9, and the diameter will be twice as long, so 18. So if this was 9, and if I went all the way across, the diameter would be 18. So pi times 18. Now if you take pi times 18, then our circumference should be around 56.5. So I'll say 56.5. Measure the central angle, 57 degrees. And this is always 360. Cross multiply, and the arc length should be about 9. Okay, I did not give you a unit again, so let's say it's 9 feet for radius. So your arc length would be about 9 feet. It doesn't always work out that way. In this case it did. I think the actual answer was 8.9, but I rounded. Okay. Now to finish up, I'm going to take you through the talk it over. There's only 2 of them. Number 1 says, a circle graph with 5 central angles is unwrapped into a straight line of length 1. Complete the diagram to find the arc lengths. So if you take a look at that diagram, and we're going to break it apart here, we have one piece that is 45 over 360, then another piece which is 135 over 360. So the next yellow part would be 60 over 360, because that was what the degree on the circle gives you for yellow. The 60 represents the central angle, even though it's written on the outside. It represents the central angle. The green part right here would be 30 out of 360, and then the purple looks like 90 out of 360. To finish that, we'd simplify it, and I think we have 1/8 here. This one reduced is 3/8. This one reduced is 1/6, and then 1/12, and 1/4. What's the measure, talk about 2. What's the measure of the central angle of an arc whose arc length is 1/5 the circumference of a circle? Well, if we have a circle, you're talking about 1/5 of the overall circle, and the whole circle is 360, and you're talking about 1/5 divided by 5, and you should get 72. Good luck on your assignment. I'll talk to you tomorrow if you have any questions.